Merry Christmas everyone. I'm back continuing with this song that we're working up on using tongue blocking in third position on an A harmonica. So now we're going to cover the second part of the head, which is more advanced than the first part. So as a beginner you can work on that first part, but if you're an intermediate player or advanced player and you're working on your tongue blocking, this should be well within your grasp. So the second part of the tune sounds like this. So that is the second part. So let me just play the first part and the second part together, just to give it some context, and then I'll break the second part down. The first part I've already done. So together, sounds like this. That's a little break there, and then you can do a one bar head and off you go. So the second part, what is that? So here we can start taking things up a level. So the first part is exactly the same as the first head, but what we do at the end is we bring in these octaves, which are so reminiscent of William Clarke, especially in third position, and you can kind of attack that phrase in a different way to the first time that you played it. So it's exactly the same notes, but the last four notes you play as octaves. The other thing is, on the way up, instead of doing single tongue slaps, we're going to do more of a double and a kind of, not a swinging motion, but it sounds like you're sort of munching on the harp, which is something Big Walter used to do, this kind of, that kind of sound. So on the way up, you've got so that last bit is so William Clarke, I think. So when you get up to that blow 7, coming off that draw 6, you kind of explode into the octaves. So you've got that. Even you can kind of get a bit of a tongue slap on that bend, slight bend, subtle bend on the draw 6. Again, you put a bit of tremolo on that draw 8. And if you can, hit that passing note on that blow 7 back down to the 4. So breaking it down. And you can get all those rushing sounds on the way down. So a really cool thing. And takes it up a level from that first phrase, which you could hit more subtly and a bit more quiet, and then you can kind of build up the dynamics. Then we get on to the second part of the second part, and here we've got 3 riffs, which are subtly different, same notes but hit in slightly different ways. Which kind of have a counterpoint to each other, which then come down to a stop. So the first one sounds like this, if I can remember. Okay, now you're hitting that with octaves, again, just to keep this kind of difference from the first part of the head. But if you wanted to hit them as single notes, no problem. Here, the whole point of this exercise and using this tune is to bring in these different elements, you know, a little bit of bending, which we'll come on to in a second, using single notes, tongue blocking, moving around the scales, your timing, and these use of octaves. So, first one. Then the second phrase is the same as the repeat of the phrase we have in the first part, but we're going to hit it with octaves here. I think it sounds cool to keep that up, which is. But like I said, if you want to hit that with single notes, or mix it up, some octaves, some single notes. All good. And then the third phrase is a little more complex, and it changes the timing. The notes are the same, but the timing is different. It sounds like this. Okay, so same notes, so you're going draw 8, draw 9, back to the 8, blow 7, draw 6, blow 6, draw 5, draw 4, blow 4 for the first part. But what you'll find tricky is that transition of, as I said before, is from that draw 8, blow 7, draw 6, around there. Now mentally, this is something I'm going to come on to, which is what my book's about, is the way that you spatially place those notes. So I think of that transition as a triangle. So I'm kind of seeing the draw 8 and the blow 7 and the draw 6 in front of me when I play. If you go to brainstruments.com, I've written a paper about this, which is, you know, the foundation of my book. So that transition, as well as hearing it and as well as feeling the physical sensation, in my mind, it's moving through a spatial pattern. And this particular part of the spatial pattern is a triangle, okay? So that, I think, as 3 points. And I have that kind of mental representation all over the harmonica, and I believe that's one of the, well, it's the thing which lets me play the way that I do. So here, the timing is a real switch up from the other phrases. So, now then what we do is we go draw 4, half step bend, draw 4, no bend, draw 5, draw 4, draw 5, blow 6, draw 6. So, okay. That's the next bit. And then we have another little counterpoint phrase. So then that's going to blow 4, draw 4, draw 5, draw 4, blow 4. Which is cool to hit as an octave. And then you have this little. Now I said at the top there might be a note, one note, where you would might hit lip purse. The rest of this is all tongue blocking. And this is it. This is this draw 3, whole step bend. Now that one note there, which you hit twice, if you want to hit it lip pursed, because that's the way we've been approaching this so far, is you use your lip pursing technique on the bottom 3 holes of the harmonica, then that's what you do, and you can switch to tongue blocking for the 4 hole, which is great practice, or you can try and do it tongue blocking. But the key thing is you've got to hit that whole step bend accurately as the 5th tone in the scale. You've got to be able to hit that. Now I play that tongue blocked, but here as a beginner you can hit it lip pursed. That's lip pursed. Okay, so that whole phrase is quite tricky, and because of the timing, not because of the technical basis of the notes. So let's play those 3 phrases together, just to get the context. Okay, now I think that's a pretty funky little tune, very reminiscent of William Clarke, as I said, especially on those high octaves. And what you can do is you can play those 2 sections together, comes into a stop, then you can have an improvisational bit, and then you can return back to the head. The key point here is you're bringing together single notes, you're bringing together use of octaves, you're moving around the harmonica, basically tongue blocking, and you're able to use tongue blocking to hit those notes in different ways, as we talked about. So you've got the doubles taps, you've got the swooshes. That you can't really do lip pursed. Think about the vibrato, think about that little vibrato on that draw 8. Think about the passing note on the blow 7. So those 2 bits once again. And to the blow 7 to come back to the 4. And to keep it in time and keep the pulse going. And this is really great practice for playing on your own and also in the context of a band. So if you work on this and you've been working on the things in my videos on tongue blocking, you should be able to bring this tune and bring it together and play it with a bit of practice. The second part, like I said, especially that phrase is a bit more challenging, so it's more of an intermediate advanced player part, but the other parts should be pretty accessible. Now, once you get into the improvisational part of the tune, there's lots of possibilities, so I'm going to record a kind of full version of this, just playing around, and then we can talk about some of the improvisational sort of techniques that you can use in here. Merry Christmas, I hope that you found that useful, and once again thanks to everyone who's subscribed to my channel. I'm thrilled with all the comments, and it's great to have the feedback, and we'll move on to some other tongue blocking things in the new year. Hope you found this useful, and have a great new year. Thanks.